Have you ever wondered why we use money? Why do we trade little pieces of paper or digital numbers for things like food, phones, or even a house? It seems a bit strange when you think about it. Right? Well, let us travel back in time to a world without money and find out why we could unlive without it. Imagine a small ancient village. Let's call our main character Ugg. Ugg is a fantastic fisherman.
He catches more fish than his family can eat.
His neighbor, Grok, is a skilled baker.
Grok makes delicious bread, but his family is getting tired of eating just bread every single day. One day, Oog wants some of Grok's bread, and Grok wants some of Oog's fish. What do? Simple. They trade. Oog gives Grok a fish, and Grok gives Oog a loaf of bread. This is called bartering, and it's the oldest form of trade. Everyone is happy. For a little while. The next day, Oogie has more fish, and he wants more bread. Egg goes to Grok, but Grok says, "Sorry, Ugg, we still have fish from yesterday. I don't need any more today."
Ugg is disappointed. He has plenty of fish, but he can't get the bread he wants.
This is the first big problem with bartering. The double coincidence of wants. For a trade to happen, you don't just have to want what the other person has. They also have to want what you have at the exact same time.
It's like trying to find someone who wants to trade their new video game for your old comic book collection.
It's not always easy.
Now let's add another person to our village. Zola. Zola makes amazing pottery. Oog wants one of Zola's beautiful pots to store his water, and he offers her a fish. But Zola is a vegetarian. She doesn't eat fish. So, no deal. Oogie is stuck. He has valuable fish, but he can't trade them for what he needs. Things get even more complicated. Let's say Grok, the baker, wants a new pair of shoes from a shoemaker named Bix. Bix needs some clay to repair his workshop, which Zola, the potter, has. And Zola,
She finally wants some of Ugg's fish for a special feast.
to get what they all want, they have to create a complicated chain of trades. Oog gives fish to Zola, Zola gives clay to Bix, and Bix gives shoes to Grok. It's exhausting just thinking about it, right?
Imagine trying to organize this every single day for everything you need. Society just can't grow like this.
And what about value? How many fish is a loaf of bread worth?
2, 3.
What about a pot? Is a big pot worth 10 fish and a small one worth 5? And what if the fish are different sizes?
Bartering has no standard way to measure value, which makes every trade a long negotiation.
It's inefficient and causes a lot of argument. Then there's the problem of storage. Oog can't just save his fish for a year to trade later.
They'll rot.
You can't save your wealth if your wealth is perishable. This means people couldn't plan for the future or build up savings.
They were trapped in a cycle of producing and immediately consuming or trading.
So our ancestors were stuck.
Bartering worked for very small, simple communities, but as societies grew, it became a massive roadblock.
They needed something better. They needed a solution. They needed money. The first forms of money weren't coins or paper. They were things that everyone in the community agreed were valuable. These are called commodity money.
In some places, it was salt. The word salary actually comes from the Latin word for salt, salarium, because Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt.
In other parts of the world, people used shells like cowrie shells or beads or even large, heavy stones.
In farming communities, they used grain.
Why these things?
Well, they solved the problems of bartering.
First, everyone agreed they had value.
So, you didn't need that double coincidence of once Oog could trade his fish for salt, even if the salt seller didn't want fish.
Why? Because the salt seller knew they could use that salt to trade for anything else they wanted. Salt became a medium of exchange. It was the middleman in every transaction, making trade smooth and easy.
Second, these items provided a unit of account.
You could price everything in terms of salt.
A loaf of bread might be worth 1 handful of salt. A pot might be worth 10 handfuls.
Suddenly, the value of everything was clear and consistent.
No more guessing games.
Third, they were a store of value.
Unlike Oog's fish, salt doesn't rot.
Grain can be stored for a long time.
Shells last forever. People could finally save their wealth. An excellent harvest this year meant you could store your grain and have security for the future.
This was a revolutionary idea. It allowed for long-term planning, investment, and the accumulation of wealth, which is the foundation of economic growth. Finally, these early forms of money were often
You could divide a bag of grain into smaller portions to buy cheaper items. This made small transactions possible.
From commodity money, we eventually moved to metal.
Why? Because metals like gold and silver were even better. They were durable, they don't rust or decay.
They were portable. A small amount could be worth a lot.
They were divisible, could cut them into smaller pieces.
And importantly, te were rare, which meant their value remained stable.
People started making coins with specific weights and markings to guarantee their value, which made trade even faster and more trustworthy.
This led to a massive explosion in trade and cooperation.
With money, you could trade with anyone.
Anywhere.
A merchant could sell silk from China for gold coins and then use those coins to buy spices in India and then wine in Rome.
The entire world became connected in a web of commerce.
Money allowed people to specialize.
Oog could just focus on being the best fisherman possible.
He didn't have to worry about what Grok or Zola wanted each day.
He could just sell all his fish for money and then use that money to buy everything he needed.
This specialization made everyone more productive, leading to more goods, more innovation, and a better quality of life for everyone. Cities grew, empires were built, and complex societies emerged, all powered by this simple but brilliant invention. Money is more than just cash or numbers in an account.
It's a technology.
It's a system of trust that allows millions, even billions of strangers to cooperate with each other on a global scale. Think about the coffee you drank this morning. The beans might have been grown by a farmer in Colombia, roasted by a company in Italy, shipped on a vessel owned by a Greek corporation, and sold to you by your local barista. None of these people know each other. They may speak different languages and live thousands of miles apart.
Yet, they all cooperated to get that cup of coffee into your hands. What made it possible?
Money! The farmer was paid, the shipper was paid, the roaster was paid.
And the barista was paid, all using a shared system of value.
So, the next time you use your card or hand over a bill, take a moment to appreciate the incredible journey of that simple concept.
From UGG and Grok trading fish for bread to our complex global economy, money is the invisible engine that connects us all.
Breaks down barriers and allows human society to achieve incredible things. It's one of the most important inventions in all of human history. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, hit that like button and subscribe for more explanations of the world around us. See you next time.